Hi, welcome back to Sagacity Science Hub. Still on Lussac'S law of combining volume. Let's solve this jam question. 100 cm cube of oxygen is made to react with 50 cm cube of hydrogen, and the whole reaction mixture was passed through anhydrous calcium chloride. What is the volume of the gas left? This is very simple. Now pay attention. What's the first step? Write out the equation for the reaction. That's hydrogen. Remember, hydrogen is diatomic alongside oxygen. When hydrogen and oxygen reacts, what's the product? Water. After writing down the equation, make sure the equation is balanced. The equation is balanced. The first step is to write out the equation for the reaction. Second step, write out the mole ratio. Mole ratio. I have 2, I have 1 here, and then I have 2. Note, in a gaseous equation, the mole ratio can be written as volume ratio, okay? What's the first step? Write out the equation for the reaction. What's the second step? Write down the mole ratio. What's the third step? Represent the mole ratio as volume ratio. What's the fourth step? Write out the given volume, and this is from the question, okay? Let's travel down to the question. Question, what's the given volume of oxygen? 50 cm cube. What's the given volume of oxygen? 100 cm cube. Given volume of hydrogen, 50 cm cube. Given volume of oxygen, 100 cm cube. Having written down the given volume, what's the next step? Write out the reacting volume. Note that you have 50 cm cube of hydrogen does not mean that all of it will react, or that you have 100 cm cube of oxygen does not mean all of it will react. It is your duty to get the reacting volume. And how do you get the reacting volume? Very simple. Let's call this case 1. What's the first step? Write out the volume ratio. For hydrogen, I have 2. Oxygen, I have 1. The next step, write out the given volume of one of the reactants and then represent the other reactant with a variable. The volume of the other reactant with a variable. I have hydrogen as 50 and then I represent this oxygen with x, okay? So when I cross multiply, 2s will be equal to 50, and when I make s subject of formula, I have 50 divided by 2 to give me 25 cm cube. Case 2, I'll repeat the same step. I represented the volume of oxygen here with a variable. So in case 2, I'll represent the volume of hydrogen with what? A variable. Still write down the given volume, 2, 1. Then for hydrogen, I'll represent it with a variable. Oxygen, 100, right? So when I make S subject of formula, I'll be having 200 cm cube. Now note, in case 1 for oxygen, I got 25 cm cube. In case 2, for hydrogen, I got 200 cm cube. Now the question is this. Is it possible that the reacting volume of hydrogen will be 200 cm cube when the given volume is 50 cm cube? It's practically impossible. So note, when you get a value higher than the given volume of any reactant, do not make use of it. So definitely we're not going to make use of 200. So we say represent hydrogen, the reacting volume as 50 cm cube. This simply means that the 50 cm cube of hydrogen would react. Now let's check for oxygen. I have 25 cm cube, a value lesser than the given volume. So when you have a value lesser than the given volume, you make use of it. So I have 25 cm what? Cube. Now, for the volume of the product, very simple. How do we get it? Note, which of the reactants did we solve for? You know, it's oxygen. We're making use of oxygen, right? Because we sought for oxygen and we got a value lesser than the given volume. So if 1 should give me 2, this is very simple. What will 25 cm cube give us? We call it x. When I make S subject of formula, I have 50 cm cube, right? So the volume of the product is 50 cm cube. So 50 minus 50 will give us 0. It simply means 50 cm cube reacted. Then for oxygen, 100 cm cube minus 25 cm cube, which is the reacting volume, will be left with 75 what? Cm cube. And then for the product, we still have 50 cm cube. Can we travel down to the question? What's the question? What is the volume of the gas left? But note that the whole reaction mixture was passed through anhydrous calcium chloride. Note that the gases left are, what are the gases left? Oxygen and what? Water vapor. The gases left are oxygen and water vapor, but the mixture was passed through anhydrous calcium chloride. Anhydrous calcium chloride absorbed the water vapor from the reaction mixture because it is the liquescent and it has a very strong affinity for water, so leaving behind only oxygen as the residual gas. So since oxygen is the residual gas, so what is the volume of oxygen left? 75 cm cube. Volume of gas left, 75 cm cube. That is option C. Bye and see you in my next class.